So what do you want?
I don't know, I've just been having some relationship problems recently.
Finally, something interesting to talk about. What is it?
I don't know, we haven't been feeling it anymore.
Keep going?
Well, it all started when I was 8 years old. I had just gotten Pokemon Platinum, and it was love at first sight. We had such a good time, but these past few years, I don't know, we haven't been really feeling it. We've even introduced a third into the mix.
Oh my god. Look, this is just a classic case of you being a gamer.
What do you think I should do?
Maybe a Nuzlocke?
A Nuzlocke challenge is a set of rules imposed on oneself to make a Pokemon game harder. The Nuzlocke challenge was created by a guy named Nick Franco, who would create comics depicting his Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke challenge. The comics were posted on 4chan, which were originally titled Pokemon Ruby Hard Mode. The challenge's name was changed to Nuzlocke after Franco's username. There are two basic rules when it comes to a Nuzlocke challenge. 1. Limited encounter. The player may only catch one Pokemon per route. 2. Dying. If a Pokemon faints, it must be released. Challenge became widespread, and the community has added a bunch of different rules to increase the difficulty.
Oh, I get it now. So, by gaslighting, that'll save our relationship.
Sure.
Okay. Now, before we begin, I need to decide some rules. Rules are self-imposed, so I can pick any rule that I want to as long as I have the main two. Limited encounter and dying. Now, over the past few years, the Nuzlocke community has adopted quite a few rules. That being said, alright, got my rules. Here are the rules. If a Pokemon faints, that means it's dead. I can only catch one Pokemon per route unless I encounter a Pokemon or its evolution. Then I get to catch another Pokemon on that route. I must nickname every Pokemon that I capture, which helps create a more personal relationship with that Pokemon. I can use gift Pokemon. Battle mode is set, no items during battle, and a white/blackout is a hard reset. Let's start our first run.
I named my character Los and my rival Batman. A suspicious old man approaches Batman and I. He's offering us Pokemon like how old men in real life give away free candy to children. I've fallen for this before, and I won't ever again. Unlike real life old men, we were given actual Pokemon. Out of the three, I decided to pick Chimchar. It was my favorite starter as a kid. I'm going with the classic. Batman challenges me to a battle, and I accept. The battle starts off with his Piplup using a bunch of growls, while I use Scratch repeatedly. This battle's looking like a victory for us.
That was rough. I probably blacked out in one of the easiest fights in the entire game. But, in my defense, that wasn't the worst blackout I've ever had. I once woke up and found myself playing Overwatch 2. For the second attempt, I did want to change some things around. With my Nintendo DS Pro, I'm able to run a program that lets me add items to the game. I think I added about 999 rare candies into my inventory, and this is for convenience sake. I am less likely to lose Pokemon to random encounters if I were to grind for levels. This is just giving myself some leeway, really.
I named myself Zoro and my rival Mihawk. I picked Chimchar again, and this time I beat Mihawk. Mihawk and I try to catch the supposed legendary Pokemon in Lake Verity. We met a blue-haired spaceman. He says some strange things and then leaves. I accepted the creepy professor's invitation to see his lab. Since I named myself Zoro, it's only fitting that I named my Chimchar Luffy. The professor wants me to do some research for him and explore the entire region and capture Pokemon. I've already done some research on Pokemon, but I'll do it again. We told Mom about our journey, and she gave us a journal. Mihawk's mom also gave us a parcel to deliver to Mihawk in Jubilife City, which seems like the job for a mailman. I don't know why I have to do it, but it's fine. It's whatever. We were given some Pokeballs, and now it's time to catch some Mons. My first catch was a Bidoof. I might be a millennial because I named him Herp Derp on Route 201. In Lake Verity, we caught a Starly and named it Jimmy. Just Jimmy. Before arriving to Jubilife City, I caught a Shinx which I named Doggo because I'm a 30-year-old man with a man bun that goes to yoga. I found stupid Mihawk in the stupid Pokemon school and delivered the stupid parcel, which turned out to be 2 town maps, one of which was given to me. I mean, I don't need it, but like, I'll take it, or whatever. Oh, also I get the Poketch. As soon as I left Jubilife City, I unfortunately ran into Mihawk again, who challenged me to a battle. He starts off with Starly and I send out Doggo. Mihawk uses Growl a few times and Doggo kept using Tackle. After a few growls, Mihawk's Starly used Quick Attack a few times, but Doggo kills Starly with just a few tackles. With Starly down, Mihawk sends out his Piplup. I switched Doggo for Jimmy. Using Quick Attack, I landed a critical hit, and it used Pound, which landed a critical hit. But thankfully, it kept growling every other turn, which let me damage enough to properly kill it. I know he gave me a town map and everything, but I'm not going to go easy on him. What? On Route 203, I caught Seabat. In Orberg Gate, Charlie from my favorite show Smiling Friends was caught. Mihawk must be stalking me because we find him in front of Orberg City Gym. He tells us that the gym leader Rourke is nowhere to be found. But first, I needed to head to Route 207 and caught another Smiling Friends member, Alan. I went to Orberg Mine and found Rourke, who promptly leaves the mines. I ran into a Geodude, but I accidentally killed it. We go into the gym, and after some training, I evolved a few of my Mons. We challenge Rourke to a battle. I am bringing in Charlie, Luffy, and Jimmy. Rourke starts off with Geodude and I send out Luffy. After 2 Gumu Gumu no Mach punches, Geodude goes down. Up next is Onyx. I managed to kill it with a few more Gumu Gumu no Mach punches. Luffy didn't get away scot-free though. Onyx was able to get in a few rock throws, but he lived through them. Last up is Craniados. Luffy puts it down to 2 Gumu Gumu no Mach punches. Craniados was able to hit Luffy with a pursuit, but doesn't do a lot of damage. So, we ended up killing Craniados, thus defeating Rourke with no casualties and earning the first gym badge. To get to the next gym, we must go back to Jubilife City. Going north, I find some blue-haired people harassing the professor. Looking at how they're dressed, they have to be performing arts students. I had to step in with Dawn together, mostly me. We managed to take down these blue-haired performing arts students. We arrive to Floraroma and get approached by a child who asks us to help her dad for more performing arts students. But her cuck father can wait. I must catch the Shellos in front of Valley Windworks. We encountered some more theater students in front of Valley Windworks and in the Floraroma Meadow. One of these performing arts students dropped the key to the Windworks, which is perfect for us. Inside, we meet one of the heads of this theater troupe, Commander Mars, and challenge her to a battle. I start off with Charlie and she starts off with a Zubat. I used Water Gun and Zubat landed a bite, which got a critical hit. Charlie used Water Gun again and Mars' Zubat goes down. Up next is her fucking ugly Cheshire Cat. I sent Luffy out to take care of the Purugly and was met with a fake out. Luffy used Gumu Gumu no Mach Punch, which was countered by a Scratch. I used Gumu Gumu no Mach Punch again, which activated its Citrus Berry, and also used Scratched again. I decided to switch Luffy for Jimmy. We used Quick Attack and Purugly was down. I almost killed Jimmy, but we made it out of there alive. The theater kids leave, and the little girl was reunited with her father. Outside of Floraroma Town, we caught Stimples. I got through Eterna Forest with the help of Cheryl. She needed help getting through the forest, and in return, I get a cool bell. In Eterna City, we ran into Baka Mihawk, who shows me a statue, when we ran into the strange blue-haired man again. He says some shit about investigating the myth of Sinnoh, but he leaves, and shortly after I run into a crazy hot blonde woman named Cynthia, who is a trainer and gives me HM Cut. The grass-type gym was a breeze with Luffy and Jimmy. I also included Charlie in my team for moral support. He has a smiling friend after all. Gardenia starts off by sending out Turtwig, and I use Luffy. I go for Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel, which gets its health down to the red. It uses Reflect, which raises the team's defense stats for a few turns. Gardenia uses a Super Potion. We use Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel, which only did half of its health bar. Reflect really is a bitch. I hit Turtwig again a third time, which got it back down to the red health, and luckily it got burned. It used Razor Leaf against Luffy, and the burn status is what finished off the Turtwig. Up next was Gardenia's Charon. Luffy uses another Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel. It used Safeguard and then followed with Magical Leaf. Using Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel again did a third of its health bar, and this turn is when Reflect wore off. I got hit with another Magical Leaf, which landed a critical hit, but the last Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel killed the Charon. Last and finally least is Roserade. Here I decided to send Jimmy out for Luffy. Immediately, Jimmy got hit with Stun Spore. So now Jimmy is paralyzed, and due to its secondary effect, Jimmy's speed was cut. I go for a wing attack, but I got hit with the Magical Leaf. But the good thing is that my wing attack did enough damage to activate the Citrus Berry. We trade blows again, but this time Roserade goes down, thus earning the second gym badge. With Gardenia out of the way, I think I should visit this cool spinny building. Entering the building turned out to be the office of the theater troupe. I found the director of the theater troupe, Commander Jupiter. Turns out Jupiter stole some Pokemon from an innocent Sinnoh bike shop owner. So now I will free the Pokemon by battling her. She starts off with Zubat and I send out Charlie. We trade blows the first turn, and in the second turn, I managed to kill her stupid Zubat. She sends out Skuntank. Confusion isn't going to work, so I go for a Water Pulse. But I get hit with Poison Gas, poisoning Charlie. I ended up confusing Skuntank with Water Pulse, which did nothing for me, and we trade blows again. Charlie was in the red, and the poison ended up killing him. But I won't let his death be in vain. So I sent out Luffy to finish the job. The Skuntank ended up hitting itself in confusion. Unfortunately, it caused its Citrus Berry to activate. I used Taunt to try to get rid of some of the other status moves, and then I go for Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel, and it uses Night Slash on Luffy. We trade blows a few more times, but in the end, Luffy won. He avenged his dead friend. With Charlie gone, I decided to put in Doggo and Shilbo into the team. But with that in mind, I decided to catch a new Pokemon. I caught First Son of the Sea Jinbei. We talk to the woman of our dreams, and she gives us an egg for a gift. As a thanks, we get the bicycle from the old guy whose Pokemon got stolen by Team Galactic. We run into the blue-haired man again in Mount Coronet. I lost another cool rock that I found. We get some dank 420 weed, and we arrive to Hardhome City. Arriving, I inadvertently helped a little girl save her Baneri from running away. We talked to Bebe, the woman who created the PC in Sinnoh, and she gave us an Eevee, who is now named Bordis. I went back to Route 206, and after a few failed attempts, I caught a Geodude, and based on his love for rocks, I mean minerals, I named Geodude Hank. I went inside the contest hall to ask for payment from that little girl who I helped. I find her talking with my mom. With mom here, I can't ask for shit. So, after they leave, I decide to vent my frustrations to the European woman who turns out to be the gym leader. I went back to the PC to change my team around, placing Jimmy into the team. I entered the gym, encountered one trainer, and skipped the rest. We challenged this French bitch to a battle. Fantina starts off with Duskull, and I start off with Doggo. I use Bite while it uses Future Sight. I use Bite again, but Fantina heals Duskull. It is another Bite, and I sent it back to hell. Unfortunately, Doggo took the Future Sight. Up next was Miss Magius, which used Confuse Ray, which resulted in Doggo hurting itself. I tried to attack, but Doggo was killed with Shadow Ball. Up next, I sent out Jimmy, whose normal typing will help against Miss Magius. But Miss Magius uses Psybeam, and Jimmy hits it with a wing attack. I get hit with Confuse Ray again, but I managed to pull off a double team. I attempt another double team. Luckily, Miss Magius missed its Psybeam, which was all for naught as Jimmy hit itself with Confusion. Ultimately, Jimmy dies to Miss Magius' Psybeam. I sent out Luffy and tried to go for a taunt to prevent any more Confuse Rays, but I ended up getting Psybeam. I landed the taunt and go for Gumu Gumu no Flame Wheel on the second turn. Miss Magius is faster, so it landed Shadow Ball, which killed Luffy! I sent out Shilbo, which used Water Balls after getting hit with a Magical Leaf. Water Pulse activates its Citrus Berry, which undoes some of the damage that I did to it. It goes for a Shadow Ball, which ends up killing Shilba. I can't take it, man. They're all dying. Last certainly least is Bortus, which only has normal type moves. I tried to hit it, but obviously I missed, and it lands a few side beams before I black out.